As you know, as we all know, innovation and entrepreneurship are essential components of this growing and accelerating industry. And so we held a quantum startup pitch competition yesterday, and now it's time for the award ceremony. Please join me in welcoming George Thomas, Chief Innovation Officer of Connected DMV, who's going to lead the award ceremony.
Good afternoon, everybody. Everybody had a good lunch? What do you think of Dr. Kathy Foley's presentation? She's like amazing. Like every time she talks, we learn something like so much more. So we're really delighted to have her here for the second year running and talking. So this gives a really good segue to our little session. So this is the award ceremony for the startup pitch competition. For those of you that were not there yesterday, this is the second year we are running it. It's a pitch competition that is very focused on bringing solutions to a particular domain. Last year's pitch competition was focused on life sciences and healthcare. This year we challenged applicants to come up with ideas and solutions that's focused on the defense and national security industry. It was an open pitch competition. We had applicants from all over the globe. 5 of them made the final round. And the competition, the down select committee consisted of judges from MITRE, Qubits Ventures, Boeing, the Quantum Startup Foundry, Deep Tech Quantum, which is aligned with the NATO Diana, QEDC, and Chicago Duality. So it was a very robust set of folks with ideas on how to grow a company, domain expertise in quantum, and domain expertise in defense and national security that came together to down select the final 5 companies. And the 5 companies presented yesterday, and I'd like to thank our kind of co-organizers and sponsors of the Startup Pitch Competition, which is Next, powered by Shulman Rogers, and Big Idea Connectopreneur, who helped us kind of co-host the session yesterday. And I'd also like to thank the 3 judges who judged the competition yesterday, which included Dr. William Zeng from Quantum Nation, Dr. Chris Fall from MITRE, and Dr. John Paul Sawyer from the University of Maryland, who also serves as the director of the Mid-Atlantic Quantum Alliance. So I want to give a, could we give a good round of applause to all of the judges, all of the work that went over the last many, many months to make it possible for the event yesterday. So with that being said, the process that we're going to do today is announce them in 3, 2, and 1 in order. And to kind of get the process going, I'd like to invite onto stage Stu Solomon and one of the judges representing the 3, Dr. John Paul Sawyer. So without much further ado, I'd like to introduce the second runner-up of the competition yesterday, QUANTOPTICON, Dr. Mirela Koslova. Introducing the first runner-up, QUANTROPI. Michael Redding. Congratulations, Michael. Are you ready? So the 2023 winner of the Startup Pitch Competition is BOSONQ PSI and the CEO Abhishek Chopra. So we're going to do something a little bit different from last year. All three companies are going to come out here one after the other and give you a 5-minute pitch, not about this thing, but what they're going to do and what they're about. So with that, we're going to start in the same order that we had before. I'd like to invite back onto stage QUANTOPTICON, Dr. Mirela Koleva.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Mirela Koleva. I'm the CEO and co-founder of QUANTOPTICON, and I'm very pleased to be here today. I would like to thank, first of all, the organizers for inviting me to this wonderful event, and I want to thank the pitch competition judges for selecting QUANTOPTICON as a runner-up. It's a really, really big honor for me. And now I would like to tell you a little bit about what we do at QUANTOPTICON and how we're advancing quantum technologies. So QUANTOPTICON is working on solving one of the major challenges in our quantum era that we're living in right now. And this challenge is actually in many ways very similar to something we have seen back in the dawn of the era of classical computing in the 1970s. So in the 1970s, Robert Noyce and Gordon Moore were just starting out to build the world's first classical computer chip. But they didn't have access to the purpose-built design tools that they needed. They really sorely needed to actually tell them, to guide the process and to tell them what constituted the best possible design for their chip. And when these tools eventually arrived on the scene, they completely transformed the pace at which this field was developing, and they made a breakthrough in classical computing technologies and enabled us to get to where we are today with the devices that we have and enjoy. And quantum technologies operating on the principles of light today are pretty much in the same kind of situation right now. They're in dire need of design and modeling tools to help them progress and move forward. And so what QUANTOPTICON is doing, we're really solving this challenge by offering and developing the world's first design platform or simulation platform for rapid and cost-effective design and optimization of quantum optical hardware. And at the heart of our groundbreaking simulation suite is actually an algorithm that completely and accurately describes quantum phenomena that are occurring on the nanoscale. And this simulation suite took over 20 years to develop by our groundbreaking, world-leading team of scientists and specialists in this field. And it's been experimentally validated and proven, and we know that it works. So we are a team of 6 at the moment. We have an outstanding product development team, and we are just about to be joined by an absolute star student from University of Yale and University of Chicago. We can't wait for him to join our ranks. We're also backed by a stellar cast of outstanding scientists. One of them has been a director of the Argonne National Laboratory. He's also been a head of the Cavendish Laboratory at the University of Cambridge. And another scientific advisor that we have won the highest honor of the IEEE Societies in 2019, the Electromagnetics Award. So I'm going to say a few words about how QUANTOPTICON is addressing the national security and defense sector. And we think we have a lot of relevance here because we paved the way to truly unconditionally secure large-scale, high-speed quantum networks. And we do this by closing some of the security holes that are currently gaping in the protocols that are currently being used in quantum communications. We're closing those loopholes. We're increasing the speed at which data can be transmitted along these channels so that we increase the speed of these networks and we allow more nodes to be added to them. And we also facilitate the design of, we facilitate the realization of truly reliable and robust quantum memories, which are core components of quantum repeaters. And quantum repeaters allow us to translate the quantum signal over large distances over the surface of the Earth. So they enable us to obtain very large spanning quantum networks. These quantum memories are actually a vital component of quantum computers as well. So, but there's far more that we do for quantum computers. We can enable the scalability of the components. We can drastically reduce the cost of manufacturing the components and the overall cost of the machines. We can help with minimizing the loss of quantum signal as the quantum signals are being routed around the computer. We can miniaturize quantum computers and we can make them field deployable. So there's really quite a lot that we can do. And finally, to conclude, I would like to say that we are raising our seed round right now. We are seeking $2.5 million to extend and expand our simulation toolbox with more quantum systems and more photonic structures that our prospective clients keep asking for, and we need the funding to be able to do this. So if you're interested to join Team QuantOpticon, please reach out to me today, and thank you so much. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Another round of applause for QuantOpticon and Dr. Mileva Koleva, please. I'd like to invite back onto stage Michael Redding, representing QUANTROPI.
Well, I first want to thank Quantum World Congress, the sponsors, and the judges for this opportunity. And I'd like to say, and start off by saying that the biggest threat to national security and defense isn't a hot war, isn't a cold war, isn't a pandemic or climate change. It is actually the unholy alliance of quantum computing and artificial intelligence. We've known since the 90s with Shor's algorithm that eventually a big enough quantum computer could break the encryption at the heart of the internet of our global economy. However, this past year, we've seen a number of research teams combine today's quantum processors with advances in AI that have made the problem solvable with thousands, if not millions of orders of magnitude lower resources, such that instead of being a 2-decade problem, it's maybe a 2-year problem. So what do we do about it? Well, at QUANTROPI, we believe in fighting quantum with quantum. We've got deep IP in the form of 10 granted patents and another 9 pending that we've used to forge our commercially available hybrid SaaS platform we call KeySpace. And what's important about KeySpace as a platform is it delivers the 3 capabilities, cryptographic functions, that any organization, application, or system needs to be fully quantum secure. First, it delivers quantum secure asymmetric encryption, both the NIST finalists that are becoming the standards of the future, but also QUANTROPI's own novel algorithms that are many times faster and smaller than their NIST counterparts, which make them really relevant for IoT and edge applications, which are critical to defense and security. We then look at symmetric encryption, and there we've started with quantum gates, specifically permutation gates, and said, how can we use the quantum effects for information security? And we realized we could configure them into a quantum permutation pad, which is the equivalent of a one-time cryptographic pad, which has Shannon perfect secrecy. But the great news is that when we translate it from a quantum processor to a classic processor, we shift from Boolean algebra to linear algebra, and in doing so, results in a symmetric algorithm that runs 18 times faster than the current standard AES 256 and can take a key length up to 400 times larger, giving you robust, bulletproof, symmetric security for data in motion and data at rest. And then finally, what's the point of a strong lock if you have a weak key? And so quantum random number generation and distribution. We partner with some of the leading vendors in quantum random number generation, and we provide the distribution network to effectively create a digital quantum key distribution network that spans the globe. We did a benchmark with Deutsche Telekom's Open QKD lab, where we were able to stream entropy, stream cryptographic keys from Ottawa to Frankfurt at a volume 12 times more than what Google.com needs every second. So with these enterprise and government and defense-ready capabilities, we can now shift to use cases. And so some of the use cases that we have going right now and starting to develop, we're partnering with the world's #1 firewall manufacturer to put quantum entropy into their firewall product so they can now have a post-quantum secure IPsec VPN that is going to commercial availability later this year and is already in testing by national security labs, US, Europe, and Asia. On the IoT side, I just got off a call this morning with a partner that provides high-performance video encoding for remote sensing applications, which you can imagine for satellite, for drone reconnaissance, for border security, and our ability to give them quantum encryption that outperforms the current technologies allows them to work on constrained environments with limited bandwidth where latency matters to give a differentiated capability that, again, can work terrestrially or in space. And of course, there's also use cases around command and control and real-time sensing because, again, every one of those things depend on speeds and feeds. So at QUANTROPI, we are building the shield that will protect us against the quantum and AI sword. We are a seed-funded company, but we are raising money. So as always, as any startup does, so we look forward to the opportunity to partner with all of you as we make this national defense quantum secure. Thank you.
And finally, I'd like to invite onto the stage Abhishek Chopra, representing this year's winner, BOSONQ PSI. Abhishek.
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you so much. It's a privilege to be in midst of this prestigious audience. And thank you for all the organizers and the judges to think that BOSONQ PSI is building a startup which is bringing quantum today. Very excited to talk about the company. A little bit of my background and the story will flow to explain what we are really doing at BOSONQ PSI. So I'm not a quantum physicist. I'm an aerospace engineer. I come from the background of computational fluid dynamics. What you see in this image here is something what we use as an important tool in engineering to design aircrafts, vehicles, spacecrafts for the next moon mission. So my journey started with the passion towards computational fluid dynamics in my 9th grade. And since then, it has lived with me. Did my undergrad at Rutgers, moved to Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, where I did massive simulations, building large codes for computational fluid dynamics. First on CPU, and then did this big simulation, which I really talk about, which is doing the flow behind the tail of an aircraft being done on 250,000 computers, or cores as we say in HPC world. And it took 6 months to do that simulation, even with that much computational power. So understood accelerated computing is an important part of where we are heading towards. There was a 2013-2014 paper on CFD which talked about we cannot do full aircraft simulation with high fidelity until 2070, given the current trend in the supercomputing power increases. So accelerated computing is an important part, and then move towards taking that legacy code on Fortran 77. Yes, that's what I used during my PhD. And then moved to put that on GPUs. Worked with Oak Ridge National Lab scientists and NVIDIA scientists to take that. And what I observed was, yes, we were able to successfully port the code on GPU, but we were only getting 2 to 3x performance improvement. The reason being the math that we were using behind the solvers were back from 80s. It hasn't changed. So started BOSONQ PSI in 2020. What we are really doing is we are bringing new math, which is really stochastic and probabilistic math that can run on today's GPUs and can run on quantum computers once they come into light. The value proposition for our customers in aerospace, automotive, and EV sector is that we can do simulation faster, better, and more economical just by using stochastic math which is still running on GPUs with the same design tools. So that's the transformation that we are bringing today. We have went on to do some exciting use cases. I wish I could show that on the slide. It had been much easier. But let me describe that. This is one of the case studies that I showcased yesterday, which was on Maruti Suzuki's, which is a big Indo-Japanese company, where we wanted to improve the control arm. So control arm is a part that sits in all of the cars. It's made out of aluminum, 4 in number. It's between your chassis and the wheel. And they wanted to see if we can do better simulation on that or reduce the weight of it, because the lightweight is always the important part in engineering. So with our tool, we showed 7% more weight reduction at 1/8 of the cost. That translates to about $500,000 cost saving. We are scaling that to full car simulation, where we are saving about $250 million just for one company. So this is where we say that engineering simulation, which is something which is very, very, very far from quantum mechanics, there's a need of doing better, even with what we have today. And then once we scale it up, we can put that onto quantum computers with the same math that is there. So we have customers from aerospace. We have 3 paid pilots, and with one of the largest aerospace companies, with one of the Fortune 500 biotech companies, and some of the companies even in the EV sector. We're also proud to be part of some of the government and R&D initiatives. We won a $500,000 grant from Government of India to design a design optimization tool for better battery and battery thermal management system. We also won the Griffiths Institute Hustle Defense Accelerator, and we are also in talks with the CRADA with Air Force Research Lab. What we like to say at BQP is we are picks and shovels to the American dynamism. Thank you so much.
Could I have another round of applause for all of the winners? We have very, very, very high expectations of these 3 companies. And especially, we'll be following their careers, I think, with great interest. So thank you, everybody, for being part of the award ceremony for the Startup Pitch Competition for 2023. Thank you.